loves, welcome back to TigeraGitana. My name is Abby, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different on the channel, even though it's going to be a little bit similar to some of the stuff that I've been doing, because I did review Sabrina, the Sabrina series on Netflix as well, which I need to review season 3 for the channel. It's coming. Also, shout out to Bae, because she bought me this really cute cup called Witch's Brew, and it's like the cutest thing. I love it. And yes, she does spoil me. So I have my routine written down, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. But today we are going to be talking about The Witcher, and I wanted to kind of call this series of me reviewing like supernatural, more on like the witchier related TV shows and stuff, because I do love watching them. They're like so much fun to watch, and I wanted to do this with The Witcher because just a little bit of history, I guess, with The Witcher. One of my friends, I used to watch him play the video game all the time, and I was aware of the video game before I knew it was a book. I found out that it was based on a book when the series got announced on Netflix. So when I first saw the season, I was waiting for it to come out, because at first Henry Cavill was not selling himself to me as a Witcher yet, because when they had those promo shots of him with the wig on, I was like, you can tell that's a wig, please take that off, you look like a fool, please. And then when I actually watched the show, he did the thing, okay? So he could take the wig look way more realistic, because I was just like, listen. Anyway, so we're gonna talk about like more of the witchier side of The Witcher. So I did not read the books, but I am going to, because I'm a big nerd. For y'all who has been following me for a while, y'all know I'm a Ravenclaw. I'm a big ass nerd. And so I am planning on reading the books very soon. So let me know if you want an update on that later. But we're going to be talking about the witches in many ways in the show, and my expectations and all of these different things that I thought throughout watching the first season, which was a really good season. There was moments where I was a little bit confused, because I was like, oh, I thought they died. Okay, I'm sorry, I should have said spoiler warning. Y'all should have seen it by now. If y'all clicked this video, I'm sorry. If you didn't see it, that's your fault. I don't care. Anyway, it got to a point in the story where like characters that were already like things that already happened, I was like, wait, they died already, why are we, and then I realized it was like this flashbacking thing that they were doing. That was a little bit confusing for a moment, but then I caught on and I was like, okay, so it's doing like a jump thing, but it's not being obvious about it, so it was a little bit trying to pace the storyline was a little bit annoying in that way, but they kind of made it work. But it was a little bit like of a head scratcher for a moment. Anyway, so obviously, because we're talking about more of the witchcrafty parts of it, we are going to talk about Yennefer. We are going to be talking about Tissaia. I loved her character in many ways, because her quotes were out of this world correct. Like, I was like, oh my god. These quotes are fire. Like, once Tissaia starts talking about chaos, I was just like I was so excited, because I was like, this is the perfect way to explain witchcraft, and explaining like the bending of the elements, and explaining creation and manifestation in many ways, just with a really dark kind of touch to it. So we are going to read some of the quotes, because it's just brilliant. It's just brilliant. Okay, so one of my favorite ones is this one: magic is organizing chaos. Okay, it just that sentence alone is very important, but I'm gonna finish it. Okay, and while oceans of mystery remain, we have deduced that it requires two things: balance and control. Without them, chaos will kill you. Okay, this is such an important quote to like break it down, especially when you're thinking about like your own practice within witchcraft, because when it comes to shows and stuff, when you're looking at like a lot of witchy shows like Charmed and stuff, they're always looking like spells in a book and all of these different things, but I honestly cannot recall when a witch or mage has broken down what magic is in a show or movie, and I'm even talking about Harry Potter and this, in this type of way, where you're just like, whoa, this is actually what it is. Magic is organizing chaos, and it is true. Magic, witchcraft, the crafting of what it means to be a witch, what it is to be a witch. We're always trying to organize and react to things that are happening in our lives, and also calling things into our lives. That's where the balance and control, because we're seeing that certain things are lacking, so we are calling those things into us. So it is a very beautiful, like, kind of give and take of looking at the situation on a grander scale and saying, okay, I really need this right now, so I'm just gonna call that in, or I really need to communicate with spirit right now, so I'm going to do that. There's like a different levels to making that happen, and it's about organizing the chaos within our lives, within the physical realm, because the physical realm is very chaotic, and there's rules and structures that have been put in place by certain individuals, but that doesn't make our personal lives any less chaotic. This is why it's a craft. We're crafting our lives, and it's a very, very, like, beautiful way to put it, where it's just like, hey, magic is organizing the chaos of your life. This is what it is. This is why you need to drink this tea every night, because you're trying to do prophetic dreams. This is why you're doing this, or this is why you're taking herbal remedies, because you need to fix something internally in your body. You need to do some healing work. There is an organization of chaos within certain, whether it's like we're reacting to our own healing and we know we need to heal certain parts of ourselves, or we are trying to balance ourselves out because we need something else, whether it's love, whether it's money, whether it's opportunities, whether it's to achieve a goal. It is about organizing the chaos, and the chaos is very messy. So I when she first said that quote, it literally, like, I was just like, yes, that's exactly what it is. Thank you. Like, I was just like, oh my god. And then every time she just mentioned it, I was just like, yes, queen, please continue to give me these quotes, because these quotes are fire. Okay, I was so just utterly in love with her character and what she brought, even though I don't agree with, killing witches and using their energy force to, do what she did. Basically, you need to watch the show if you didn't watch the show. But for the most part, she is a very I feel like she understands the grander scale of things, and then it's able to kind of, fine tune it into, like, just look in and zoom in into one specific thing and say, well, this is what it is. I also love how there was a amount of control and understanding with chaos and how magic worked within the show. And we're going to talk about some of the other characters, because it was very interesting to me how some things played, in between. But I do want to give you one more quote from her, but hold on. This is this one. Chaos is the most dangerous thing in the world. It is all around us all the time, volatile and powerful. And it is true. All of these things are true. Like, literally, her quotes were so on the money for what is happening with society today, what is happening with, like, the uprising of spirituality and the uprising of all these witches and spiritual like-minded people. And it's just about controlling that chaos within our own lives, within society itself. And it is just, like, I was just like, yes, queen. Yes. So one of the other witches that I thought was really, really, really cool was Frigilla. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. I also love that she was played by a woman of color, by the way, because in the video game she is not played by a woman of color, and I don't think she's played by a woman of color in the books either. But I do like that she was played by a woman of color, because in many ways, even though maybe some people didn't take that part as such, and maybe I could be reading into it, but there is a kind of something to be said about the way people of color practice and the way non-people of color practice witchcraft. And when you saw her kind of challenging the status quo of the way organizing chaos was supposed to be done according to Tissaia, she was just like, no, look at me, I'm actually able to manifest without having to use something else as energy force or give something else to whatever it is that I need. I can actually do this without that case, by bending and using magic, darker magic, as they were calling it, within the show. And it is very interesting to me because a lot of the time, if you look at spirituality and magic and manifestation through people of color's forms, we're able to do so many things, and it's almost like it's like an underestimating kind of feel to it, like as far as what we can do and how we don't need to do it in that way. And again, I know I'm probably reading into this and that wasn't an intention that was set by the writers or producers, because I'm pretty sure the head show writer is not a woman of color. But I just really, I took that from those moments in that scene because it was just very powerful for a woman of color to just be like, well, no, I don't have to do it your way. I'm still doing it though, and I'm still a badass, and I can still get this done. So I just thought it was very a powerful portrayal, and that's really one of the things that I took from that scene. I thought she was definitely a badass, and she was just like, it was just a game. Like, yo, that whole thing was a game. Now let's talk about Yennefer a little bit, because we do have to talk about Yennefer. I don't know, I think I might need to watch the first season again, but I was a little bit underwhelmed with her abilities, especially because she was just sold as someone who's supposed to be the most powerful thing. And after she got her and she became, you know, quote unquote beautiful, and she didn't have the hunchback and all the things, I thought that it was going to kind of go in a different place. And then I remember that scene where she's in that the horse-ridden carriage with the queen's wife and her baby, and she was just kind of bored. When she was bored, I kind of started getting bored, and then the whole thing happened with the whole scene, and then she kind of has to start jumping through different places and she's getting chased, and I was still a little bit underwhelmed with what was happening, because she's supposed to be the most strongest mage alive at this point, because she has elven blood. I think she's half elven, or she has elven blood, is one of those two, and she's supposed to be powerful because the elves were the ones who in this universe invented magic. So they obviously are tapped into it a little bit differently than everybody else, and they can channel a little bit different than anybody else can. So they're a little bit more powerful in that regard, because the elves taught humans magic in this universe. So I was expecting more from her character, even to the end when she kind of like destroyed everything. I wanted her to be standing on that damn hill place that she was, you know, like totally fine. Because to me, if she is so powerful, then she should be on the level of Frigilla, who is just like, just pretty much ended like all of them at one point. It was just like, okay, this game is over. This whole battle is over. But it didn't quite happen that way. She kind of just vanished and disappeared somewhere, and you don't know whether she's alive or dead. And it's just like, wait, aren't you supposed to be really powerful? And also, like, you're supposed to be very powerful, but you're up in the castle kind of just talking the whole time. Like, it just felt like she wasn't used properly. Like, I didn't feel her, oh, I'm this powerful, don't mess with me. I felt her being sassy, and I felt her having those moments of everybody else knowing that she's powerful, but I didn't feel like she was. I think in season 2 they're gonna have to show me more, because I was just a little bit bored with Yennefer. But I mean, her storyline is so interesting, and I loved like the arcs and stuff, but then it just kind of got underwhelming at one point. I was just like, okay, just go back to The Witcher. I just want to see what he's doing, because I'm a little underwhelmed here. So I do want to see more of her. That's kind of how I feel about Yennefer right now. I just want to see more of her. Like, I really wanted to love her, because watching her in the video games, I'm just like, okay, she has this whole sass thing. She has this whole history with The Witcher. She's supposed to be his soulmate and all these love romance and stuff. But she's also supposed to be she's known to be the badass, you know, mage that she is, but I need to see more of that, especially because you have other people saying these quotes. Okay, she, like, the whole show, she's just sounded like a teenager that was just like pissed that her mom and dad didn't want to let her do something. Like, that's how I felt like half the time. She just kept complaining about things. I'm just like, okay, she has some good quotes here and there, but for the most part, I'm just like, I need you to be a little bit more elevated, or just have something. I need to see more, whether it's power or brains. And a lot of the time, she was very limited in her thinking, I felt, of what she wanted versus seeing the bigger picture of things. So I don't know, I have a lot of feelings about Yennefer. The show itself was a really good show. I really loved the style of it. I thought it was visually, it was really well put together. I loved all of the forest scenes. It was just really, really interesting, really beautiful. I loved the scenes with Ciri in the forest as well, and her meeting the elf and everything like that. It was just a really, like, interesting storyline, and I hope to see more of it. I know that it gets even more complicated because the video game is super complicated. I loved all the Witcher solving and kind of getting to the root. Because he's in many ways like a detective trying to figure out what's causing what, and then all these things, and then him connecting with people. So the storylines was really interesting. And Ciri herself, I definitely want to learn more about her. I obviously would need to read the book as well just to get more info, but I do want to understand what she is, because I want to understand, like, where does she get the abilities that she's also supposed to be a very powerful being, and that's what she wants to get used by the enemies. But what is she? What is the, you know, like, I need to know, like, what is she, and why is the Witcher the one that needs to train her, or be, you know, in charge, or be parental to her. Like, I want to understand more of that, and why the Witcher is the one, because I love that the Witcher himself, even though he's not a witch, but he does use potions all the time. That's one of the things I love about the video game, and I love that they included it in the show. He uses potions for different ailments, different things, because he needs to. It's medicinal. It's for, you know, for his healing a lot of the time. A lot of the time is to give him strength for certain things. So I just thought the way they used that was perfect in the show. What else should I say? I'm really excited for the second season of The Witcher, and to see if they fix some of the things that I'm complaining about. But yeah, I definitely want to see more of Yennefer, and I definitely want to see more of Tissaia as well, because again, she just has some of the best quotes in this damn show, period. And I hope that you watch this show and, like, learn something, because that's kind of one of the beautiful things. I thought they explained magic well as well, like, even with the flower and kind of transmuting the energy of the flower into something else. That's how you work with herbs. Like, I was just like, bro, she is doing the thing, she is explaining the thing in a, like, a very, like, no, you're, like, at Hogwarts, and here, let's see if you can do this. But yes, you can use the energy of herbs to channel other things, to manifest other things by using that energy. So I just thought it was really beautiful how it was just portrayed. Those were some of my favorite scenes, to be honest, when she was there, and it was just, the quotes. I can't. The quotes were just brilliant. I'm a Gemini moon, so I'm very much like, and again, I'm a Ravenclaw, so I live for really good quotes, especially when they explain the story and what they're doing better. Just like, hey, we're just organizing chaos here. Okay, that's what we're doing. And then it's just, once you get into okay, sometimes you gotta release the chaos and release your rage. That's when we tap into some other stuff, because there's a lot of fuel there, because again, witchcraft is definitely organizing chaos, but sometimes you have to tap into that chaos to organize the chaos. It gets a little, you know, there's some blends that happened, and yeah, I can't wait to see more. I'm really excited for, you know, to see the rest of the show, and yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and there'll definitely be more, so definitely make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified every time I make a YouTube video. And I'm going to be reviewing season 3 of Sabrina in the next, I'm either going to call this Bruja TV or witches review, whatever. Okay, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, definitely subscribe so you can make sure you see the next video. But I'm definitely gonna be reviewing season 3 of Sabrina, which I have some thoughts on, but we're gonna talk about it, okay? And yeah, don't forget to check out the Patreon and follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.